this argument is always about vegetarians, vegans, Notting Hill nutters, who want to change the way the rest of us eat. So let me first of all lay out my stall. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what you eat, any of you. I don't want to make you eat meat. I don't want to stop you eating meat. I don't want to improve your diet. You go and eat whatever you like. I'm an extreme libertarian. I just think that the point of life is to do as much as you can, as often as you can, as freely as you can. That being said, one of the most important things that ever happened to us as a species was that we ate meat. G.K. Chesterton said, it was a brave man who first ate an oyster. Well, he just wasn't. We all were derived from animals that had eaten oysters for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The really brave man was the first man that ate a burnt animal. Can you imagine how terrifying that must have been? All you ever seen of fire is horrifying. And suddenly you come across this thing that stinks of death and burning. And the missus says, bet you wouldn't eat that. But he does. And it changes everything. Why does it change everything? Good. Protein. More important than protein, cooperation. Vegetable eaters do it on their own. Meat eaters do it together. Eating big bits of meat, eating big animals, means cooperation. If you cook it, you can feed old people with bad teeth and young people with no teeth. You can eat a huge amount more. The difference that makes in live births for your pregnant women, in being able to live 3 or 4 years longer and be productive, is enough to put us in this hall where they cut up the first dead body. Meat eating is what makes us cooperative. It's actually what makes dinner parties. That may not be a good thing. The other thing I wanted to say before we go on, and I'm more interested in your questions really than my going on about meat, but I did want to say, have you ever thought about how few things we actually eat? I mean, how few animals we actually eat? Very, very few. And there's a reason for that. To farm animals, you have to have the acquiescence of the animal. You can't farm animals that don't want to be farmed. It's not us making them do it. They have to see a point in being farm animals. And not many of them do. Guinea pigs. You all keep guinea pigs, don't you? Eating guinea pigs? Guinea pigs live in people's kitchens in Peru? In Peru, where they eat corn? Corn, yes. So they shuck corn goes on the floor, guinea pigs eat the corn. Every so often, someone goes down, beats a guinea pig on the head and eats the guinea pig. Now, that works for the guinea pig because they get a safe environment, they get to have babies, they get to continue to breed, they go on, and occasionally one gets beaten on the back of the head. But the important thing is that outside the kitchen, the Peruvians also keep dogs. But the dogs don't live in the kitchen, they live outside the kitchen. So the guinea pigs don't want to go outside the kitchen. So guinea pigs live in this safe environment, and it's a mutually successful relationship. They go on being a species, they go on, and they get eaten when they get fat. That works for them. The animal that most people wanted to farm more than anything else, right at the beginning of husbandry, over that great swathe in Iraq and the Middle East, the animal they were desperate to be able to farm were cheetahs. Well, you would, wouldn't you? I mean, who'd not want to have a cheetah? You could hunt with it. I mean, it's just brilliant. Desperate to farm with cheetahs. But you can't. And they tried for thousands and thousands of years. And you can do it one at a time. If you find orphaned cubs, you can train them. They will live quite happily with people. What cheetahs won't do is they won't live with each other. Animals that are farmed have to be able to live not just with us, but with each other. And they have to do something which is very specific, which is neoteny. Neoteny? This is the ability to remain forever young. It's the ability of a dog never to grow up to be a wolf. So you remain adolescent even though your body becomes fully grown. You couldn't live with a real wild sheep. They're fucking rough. You probably couldn't live with a real wild cow. Who would know? Has anyone ever seen a wild cow? No, you have. None of you have. The last one died out in the 17th century. They don't exist anymore. Cows made a deal with us. We look after them, we'd milk them, we'd farm them, and they would be one of the most successful animals in the world. They are. The ones who went, fuck off, I'm the Jimmy Dean of cows. Died in Hungary. Appropriately. Chickens. Anyone ever seen a wild chicken? I mean, I don't mean just an angry chicken. I mean, like a wild chicken. Hardly. We're not entirely sure where chickens come from. Probably from Far East, bit of India, jungle fowl. So useless at being birds. Completely, they talk like drawing a short straw. What was can't fly, looks stupid. The one thing they had to get them through to the next generation was an ability to lay an egg a day. Very few things can do that, or would want to. But it made them very useful to us. So we said, look, fuck it. We'll get rid of the leopards and the dogs and the monkeys and the rats. We'll lock you up, keep you mostly away from the foxes. Just keep laying the eggs, one a day. And they went, really, is that it? It's chickens. Anyway, that's my bid for meat eating. I leave it now to George to tell you the really interesting stuff.